Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped. Something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist.
This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening.
It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Okay. Any parts you'd like to get to know better or change your relationship with?
For the least, get to know better, because basically I've been having quite the deja vu again of getting into the old rhythm of overworking and stress and chaos and so on. Mm-hmm. And basically, the first few episodes, it's mostly about work again. And to some extent, we already talked with these parts, but it was so connected to not being able to accept that these parts exist, that it wasn't really, let's say, constructive back then yet. Mm-hmm. Because there's the part that enjoys stress, there's the part that enjoys drama, the part that's used to people being disappointed or people being angry at me and so on. There's also the part that doesn't like that I'm blending with these parts at work. Then also I noticed now in basically something that's also contributing to the whole situation is another part, or maybe it's the stress part, I don't know. But basically there's also, let's just say for now, a part in me that basically likes to get me out of shitty situations. And I noticed as these days, shitty situations don't come from the outside anymore. It seems like this part unconsciously contributed to situations in order for them to turn shitty, so I can save myself.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, I've got a little list here. Stress, enjoying the stress, getting out of shitty situations. And I guess the parts that wasn't accepting all of those, you feel like that one, you've at least made progress around that. And just
I would say the progress is that I got aware enough of all of these parts and accepting that they exist. Maybe not accepting them in themselves, but accepting that they exist.
Right. Yeah, and I hear your enthusiasm about the work in general. Accepting that you can do it, and this is a great way to heal ourselves.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay. So, do you have any specific one of those parts you'd like to focus on first?
I'm not so sure where to start, but from a thinking part, it makes the most sense to start with the one that doesn't like that I'm getting blended with all of this and ending up in shitty situations.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, sure. And where do you notice it? In or around your body when that comes up?
Basically around the heart and shoulders, because this part, it's a mix. It's like a mix. A lot of times when it comes up, mostly it feels defeated. But I noticed that some, maybe it's no, actually I think it's below the defeatedness. It's angry as well. That
Okay.
we've let it come to this.
Yes, the blending. Okay. And how do you feel towards it right now?
I don't know if that's my higher self or if that's a caregiver part, but of course I'm feeling sorry for it and sorry for all of these parts. Sorry for that it always had to come, get to this point over the last at least 10 years.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we can try to figure out if that is a caregiving part or feels like self. So let's see what other qualities of self: compassionate, calm, connected, curious, and 4 others that are on a list over there. Courageous, confident.
I noticed in my IFS work so far, in the end, in the conversation with parts, no matter if I'm in my higher self or if I'm in a caregiver part, I always get more confident as the work goes along with each independent part, but I'm never confident from the start.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's normal to have generally through the process for self to keep shining brighter and brighter. How about curious?
Curious, absolutely. That's why I'm willing to look at all of these parts now.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if a caregiver would be curious. I feel at least my caregiving parts, they want to rush in and give a hug, and they're less concerned with, the deeper work and understanding and the distance that's often required for understanding, to back away from the hug and learn about the part sometime.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because I also noticed that often when it's more of a caregiver part than blended with that, it's then more often like to make the bad emotion of the part and so on, to make that go away.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so you could just let this part know, this angry part, the one that doesn't like getting blended, that you're wanting to talk with it, that you're curious, and that you are having that compassion for it, for its situation. Just see what it wants you to know.
Basically, it's a bit of, let's say, incoherent anger.
Okay. Yeah. Just let it know that it's welcome to show up any way that it wants.
Mm.
And also that you're eager to learn about it. So if there is any way that it can share with you or show you kind of what's behind that, or make it more clear for you.
It's a bit uncooperative, and it basically mostly only wants me to rest now.
Okay.
Something I also asked it because I noticed now after the last, I think it's pretty much like 1.5 or 2 months since we had the conversation after we just started with the written work, which it's something that's getting aside from that I didn't really unburden parts as of yet. Something that's also getting more obvious is that there's, as of yet, no real teamwork between parts, or how should I put it? Yeah, basically no real teamwork. So I asked it about the basically about connecting to the other parts, any communication, if it did any whatsoever, and basically it came down to why should I get to know these parts? Fuck them.
Yeah. And is it, when it says, why should I get to know them, is it talking about itself getting to know them, or is it saying, why should you get to?
About itself.
Okay, great. Yeah. So yeah, I hear in that, I hear you talking about teamwork between parts. I hear you, I hear this part, having this concern about not wanting to get to know all these other parts. And you can just let it know that that's not what you're intending for it. That it doesn't have to get to know any parts. That it doesn't have to get along with other parts. And that your concern and your goal is to build the relationship between you and it.
To be honest, we're getting a bit stonewalled, it seems today. This part keeps being uncooperative. This, to be honest, also makes me a bit unmotivated for that part. It makes me more curious about the part that got into my awareness today. The one being about saving myself, saving others from shitty situations.
Okay. That's fine. This part said it wanted to rest and we don't want to push it. So yeah, if you'd like to switch gears, switch parts, thank it for what it did share with us, and we can look at saving yourself and others from shitty situations. Does that feel right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where do you notice that in or around your body?
It's more located on the left lower side of the heart, like the lower left quadrant of the heart. And I notice with that, let's say, a string of energy flowing down my left ribs towards the feet and going up to the shoulder and down the left hand. So it feels like this part is energizing me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how are you feeling towards it?
In general, very curious, and also there's a part in me that's optimistic about it. Or maybe that's just me being optimistic about it.
Yeah.
Because this energy is like fascinating, because now as we talked in the beginning, this complete energy crash and being so tired, now it's like my left side of the body is pretty much normal, while the right side is still really tired.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what does this part want you to know about it?
It's also a bit of an, let's say, incoherent situation, but it came in basically like Indiana Jones swinging on a rope in, and it asked me if I'm okay, and basically, because we gotta go because we ain't got no time to lose.
Oh yeah, what's the hurry?
We need to save me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what does that mean? What does that look like for this part?
Basically running from the danger or solving a problem.
Mm-hmm. Is it aware of you, of this self?
I really feel that it's not.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even need to ask. That was pretty much obvious.
Yeah. Okay. See if you can do anything to kind of invite it to notice you.
It's fascinating what active imagination does then bring into the inner eye, because do you know from Indiana Jones the scene where he runs from this huge rock?
A little bit. Mm-hmm.
Basically, with his hurry, this rock suddenly came tumbling in, and sort of like, let's say, a Jedi, I froze the rock in place.
Uh-huh.
So it stopped moving, and now I really have its attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you could ask it, what is the rock? What is that fear or that danger?
The instant answer was our life.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what it's referring to, or how that relates?
Well, with everything unstable as far back as I can remember, I always felt in some sense of danger. I couldn't, for much of my life, admit it to myself consciously, but there's always been this lack of safety.
Mm-hmm. And does that, you could check with the part, does that feel like it has a specific memory or a specific origin tied to it? It's okay if it doesn't.
The thing it brought up was a memory from shortly before my first job, in which I basically showed myself that I have the skills to get myself out of somewhere or to change my life. But that memory is, let's say, younger than this part appears, because this part appears to be younger in age than this memory.
Okay. Yeah. So the memory is later in time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Than this part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But then it now just said, I just always wanted to save you.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, from somewhere deep down, like in the body, I feel it on the left side of the bowel and the lower, and the pretty like it's pretty much aligned on the same level. Let's say on the back, but there was like a voice saying, "This is gonna get nowhere."
Okay. I'm curious if those parts are directly related. Like, is this part trying to save you from maybe this hopelessness or getting nowhere? Or did this part just kind of show up to interfere with that or to interject with that?
I guess this might be related to self-hate, because when I tried to get to this part, I didn't really, or I don't really feel physical, let's say, walls, so to speak. But, oh, wait, actually, I do. Because basically it was like a sandstorm coming up, and this part telling me to go away. You didn't want us, so we don't want you. Okay. And now with this, I'm feeling like a bit of a heart wall.
Okay. So just so I'm clear, this part in the lower part of your body that first said it was expressing kind of hopelessness, right? Like,
exactly, yeah.
That's the same part that's saying you didn't want us, so we don't want you? Exactly. Okay. Yeah. And did you learn more about if it is, connected directly to this trying to save you part? You could ask the trying to save you part if it protects this part or knows of this part.
Its only reply was yes, but not own. But I'm own. Sorry, yes, but I'm not saving you only from that part.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
So it's not protecting the part; it's trying to save me from the part. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that could be a protector and exile type of relationship. Not necessarily, but when you mentioned having this heart wall, is that just with the part that's saying you're going to get nowhere, or is that kind of all together?
Basically, just with that part because it wasn't there before, and when I, for example, connected back to the part that is trying to save me, I didn't feel it anymore.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, you can just thank that getting nowhere part for sharing its insight. Let it know that maybe you will get to it sometime, and just ask it for space so you can get back to this saving you part.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like it's a step back?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Like it stepped a bit back, but not as much as, let's say, in this situation we would have liked it to.
Okay. So how would you like to address that?
Basically, in the past, what worked really well was when there was like a part putting up a big distance to go as close as possible. Like, for example, like if with the sandstorm, sit in front of the sandstorm or in the sandstorm and just be there. Just be with it, no matter if any conversation comes up. Just be there in the first step.
Yeah. Yeah, if that feels right for you.
Interesting. Now that I'm there with it, and it's just being there, not even communicating. Aside from telling me to go away, of course, it's also communicating to me that it's in agony and in pain, and to go away. And I do feel the left side of the bowel now more strongly, but I can't call it pain.
Okay. So this part's telling you that it's in agony and pain, and also that it wants you to go away?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, you could let it know that you see that. And if you have any compassion for it, just show it that.
I just noticed that apparently I'm blended with a bit of, I don't know if that's self-hate, but at least a sort of anger, because I was like, how to put it? I wasn't that compassionate. I was like, no, I want to sit there and just to show you that I'm not doing, or that I don't want to do any harm, that I'm not doing harm.
Yeah.
And that was like not so much with compassion, that was more with a bit of anger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you can work on unblending from that and learning more about this part. Or if that feels like too much or not the right direction.
That's a part that's, how should I put it, mad at all parts who don't trust us yet, because this part sees how much effort I'm putting into everything. And basically it's mad that this effort isn't appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And you haven't, well, you tell me, have you worked with this part, this self-hate, getting nowhere part?
Not yet as of today.
Okay. So it makes total sense to me that you wouldn't have you haven't worked with this part, and
that's true.
So the part that's saying, hey, all these parts should love you and respect you and trust you.
It doesn't want love or respect, but it wants, I should put it, enough trust that I won't do any harm.
Right. That makes sense. And I think that your intuition of, just being there with it, I hear you saying that maybe that came out of it wasn't a compassionate thing, but it does make sense to me as a strategy of, if this part doesn't want to be with me, but I don't want to just abandon it, well, that's kind of sounds to me like a reasonable compromise of just showing it that you're okay with
to me too, yeah,
being there. So what would you like to do next?
Interesting. Basically, this sandstorm had stopped, and this part that was mad or angry at it for not trusting me enough to just be there. Basically, the two of them got into a fight. Basically, this part in the sandstorm being mad at the other part, and basically like, how dare you be mad at me, as you've never been there for me until now.
Yeah.
Sort of like a shouting match.
Okay. Yeah, I would try to do whatever you can do to invite them to focus back onto you. Just let them know that they're much more likely to get their way if it goes through you, that you can help mediate and lead, and you can take their concerns more seriously than they can of each other's. You might imagine holding them in separate hands.
This part in the bowl is definitely not that it is related to all the suppressed rage, because it's from the shouting match it turned to it opening up about not being able to handle to keep being suppressed. It's it has such furies, such just murderous rage, and it needs to find basically it wants me to find a way to start at least step by step letting this rage out, not keep having others have my way.
Okay.
Have their way, I mean.
Yeah. Do you want to keep staying with this part and ask those others if they'll step back?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, the part that's worried about, or, these parts should trust you. This is, just let it know this is the process of earning their trust and that you've done this before. So did it step back, and are you now with this?
Yeah, I'm only with this part now.
Great. And how are you feeling towards it?
I'm very compassionate and curious.
Yeah, great. So it's saying that it's tired of being suppressed and it wants to be able to.
Exactly, because the pain and the agony comes from all the suppression.
Yeah. We've talked a little bit about this before, kind of, how you might express that outwardly in the external world. And you can do more of that with this part if that feels right. I would suggest kind of letting it express it to you. Just see if there's more that needs to be done internally first. Just see what else it needs to show you or wants to show you about what it's like for it to feel suppressed. Or to feel murderous, to have murderous rage.
Yeah, it has a lot of rage to show me because it's explaining to me that I don't even understand the full capacity of how deep the suppression goes as of yet.
Yes. Would you like to?
Very much so.
Okay. Yeah, just let it know that. Let it know it can show you whatever it wants to show you. That you really want to understand it. How's it going?
Good, but to be honest, now it gets to a point. Basically, I asked, as I know that, or as I already know that a lot of this is related to my parents, never having been able to allow myself the anger at them. I asked it about, what about mom and dad? And then this part told me, well, I don't want to do this with a third person. Let's say, so it wants to show me that it wants to show me that later after the call.
Yeah, great. Does that feel like, are you up for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And if there's anything that I can help around that, or if you want to discuss around that, or even if, we could talk about it now, you could text me then. If there's any way that I can support you in that, just let me know.
That would be amazing. Yeah, I'll text you then.
Okay.
Because basically it's like, how should I put it? I'm not sure if that's actually this part, because I notice now that I'm blended with what will others think of me. Like, I'm big time blended with that now. I just noticed.
Yeah.
So basically, we're definitely going to talk in the next conversation then about the outcome. But like right now, it wants the privacy. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll just throw out some more suggestions or options. You could also keep going with this part and with me without sharing a single thing that it says. So that
would be amazing.
Possible too. Yeah. I don't have to know the story. You don't have to share the memories. So you'd like that?
Mm-hmm. I guess actually not never mind, but now the concern came up about this, like without, how should I put it? Well, basically, as with you in Coles, I'm always in this active imagination, meditative state where it's much more emotional than how should I put it? While the work on paper is more cognitive. Now the concern came up without the cognitive barrier, it being too overwhelming because this is going so deep.
Yeah. That's a legit concern. It could be. So we want to respect that. And, this suppressed part does want to be heard. And
very much so.
One way that you can negotiate, you can also negotiate directly with it and say, other parts of me have concerns about being overwhelmed. This is a lot to handle. And you can negotiate with it about giving it to you in a way that feels safe for you.
I just had to laugh because I noticed, we definitely have a lot of, let's say, content for a lot of coming up conversations, because now came up with this being related to parents, and it wanted to show me, suddenly came up a really young part that's still idolizing, pedestalizing my parents. Who was like, no, mom and dad are perfect. You can't be angry at them, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Like this part sort of like super dramatically came in the really quick speed.
Yeah. I wonder if that part in its way is kind of saving you from a shitty situation. I don't want to make connections where there aren't any, but
That would make sense.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm happy to go forward in whatever way you want.
Mm-hmm.
No judgment. If you want to hang up, if you want to keep going, if you want to, whatever you'd like to do. If you want to just wait and think about it, that's fine too.
Basically, a part wants me to end the conversation for now and then continue next time with whichever of these parts will be the most relevant then.
Okay. Okay. Well, great job. Great job on getting your finger on these parts and getting towards them in a way that worked for you.
I have to thank you for everything, because just alone since we had the first conversation, I just noticed how much my life's been turned around pretty much upside down. On the positive, of course.
I'm so glad to hear it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of it.
Something that I was wondering, because I noticed that because I already booked for January, but I only had the week of January 16th available. Okay. I guess that's when you continue the first recordings, or would it be possible to maybe do already an early recording before the week of January 16th?
Yes, I'll find a time for you to work earlier with you.
That would be really amazing.
Okay.
Because basically I'm pretty much, let's say, free in January. So the only thing that I would not be flexible in is time, but the date itself, I'm flexible.
Great. Okay. I'll get back to you on that.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a nice rest of your day.
You too, and happy holidays. And thank you again for everything, because to be honest, let's say these conversations with you are much more of a gift than anything I could get for Christmas tomorrow.
That's awesome. I feel the same way. It's really wonderful. And I'll be keeping an eye out on the Discord. If you are texting me in the next couple hours, I'll be available.
Perfect. Will do.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
And take care. Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube, and they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.